That's where all the huh?
So,
What do you get when a bunch of artists find old books and get drunk on their fantasies for adventure and boxed wine?
The Killustrators.
A Dungeons and Dragons adventure. Last time on the Killustrators.
So you do land honey directly on his head, and it startles him for sure. Now he's shouting again. So you've sent some of your lapdogs, I see. Alright, fine. We can do this the hard way too. It's how I'd wanted to do things from the beginning. He raises up his hand, which then erupts in a bunch of swirling orange fire. Then he throws it forward, and it like triples in size as it goes forward, destroying a whole lot of the floor and a big section of the east side wall.
I have a plan.
Oh. Do you?
I cast Enfeeblement on him.
Ooh.
The crowd of people, seeing that you guys are now fighting this guy actively, and the fact that the building's on fire, have now, like, gathered a bunch of just random objects and are tossing them onto the guild grounds to activate the mines to create a path. So at this point, I mean, the skeleton's still holding him, so it's a bit awkward, but he does drop to his knees.
Knack pulls out his metal arm and grabs him by the scruff. I go to the balcony carrying the guy. I hold him up so the crowd knows that he's detained.
Yep. There's cheers. People who came in with Kareen, a few of them do know enough magic to try and put out the fire.
Yeah.
So a bunch of people are using Create Water and putting out the fire. A whole lot of the building does end up destroyed, but, I mean, the core structure of it is still intact, so it can be rebuilt with relative ease. So, Art has moved the barrel out of the way. The crew that Kareen brings in to apprehend the guy ends up focusing most of their efforts on extinguishing a lot of the fire.
Mm-hmm.
I assume you guys just carry him down what remains of the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And down into the custody of the people who have come to apprehend him. They put manacles on him. Yeah, they slap him on there and drag him out. Fire is more or less out. You tell the people that came in where you have sent the hostages, and they go and retrieve all 14 of them.
14.
I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah.
Yep. As well, after extinguishing the fire, in the southeast room on the bottom floor, where the pop came from,
Yeah.
they do find some more hostages, 3 of whom were dead,
Oh no.
and 3 more are unconscious but alive.
Wait, so where?
In the southeast room there?
Oh, we never went in that room.
No.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, as a fun fact, as an aside, every time you went near that room, I rolled a spot check because there was oil coming out from underneath the door, but none of you noticed it.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That sucks.
It does suck, but
Do we get any of the information from the 14 hostages about what happened to the one that's gone?
about the one that's gone,
Yeah, and are we gonna find a sprung trap and a spray of blood somewhere in there?
none of these guys actually seem to remember there being an additional guy.
Was it the guy with the thing in his neck?
Nope.
We didn't do as well as we thought. But that's okay.
Guess you did better than I thought you were going to. So that's something.
Yeah.
It's good to know he believes in us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to know Jeph has confidence that we can actually
Mostly
finish
because
this campaign.
I didn't anticipate the Ray of Enfeeblement. If it
Yeah.
weren't for that, he would have fucked your shit up.
Probably,
yes.
I told you, Oswalt is exceptionally good at combat which I was not aware of when I picked this class.
Yeah, no, Oswalt kicks ass, apparently.
Yeah, almost single-handedly, really. Him and
was-
Honey, fucking.
It's true, actually. Hey!
I still want Oswalt to like multi-class, at least for one level with fucking Blood Mage.
And actually,
Oh god,
Kareen
no.
expresses a similar thing that you guys did better than she thought you would. And that she was expecting to have the group that she brought in end up doing a lot of the fighting and taking this guy down, but is really pleased with how you managed to handle everything.
Okay, good.
Yeah. And she is also part of the crew that brings this guy away into custody
Cool.
to interrogate this motherfucker.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know what you guys want to do.
I mean, we
you can
can't.
go along with them.
I mean, I
or-
guess it's not like we can go grab a drink or go to bed because everything's on fire.
I
Well, it
mean,
was
there's
on
other
fire.
taverns and inns.
It's fine.
And, I mean, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Brix raises a little paw, and she's like,
My head hurts and my shoulder hurts. I have 2 owies.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm not feeling so hot either.
No. Honey is like... Honey has had all his fur burned off. And
He's quite burnt, and he has, like, a bloody nose from being thrown at the ground and being punched in the face. Hard enough to send him, like, 25 feet backwards.
he also deflates slightly now that his rage has worn off.
He goes to sleep because he's tired.
Oh. Oh.
He curls up and goes to sleep.
Pick him up. And I keep him. Okay, shut up.
That's what it sounds like. You hear
Doesn't
that
even wanna
muffled
hear it.
inside your ghillie suit.
I have to live with this. I'm inside that ghillie suit, so I have to hear this all the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So as you guys step out of the guild hall, now victorious, the guild grounds, now that this guy is apprehended and useless, they're now mine free. So
Cool.
I mean, the spell is deactivated at this point.
"Is this grass still glittery or nah?"
No.
Boo.
I mean, that was a result of the spell.
Fair enough.
You doofus.
I know, but like, I don't know, lingering effects. Like it just the
As soon as the spell wears off, the glitter wears off.
The
bullshit.
glittery, splody grass spell.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Glittery splody grass.
It's actually called Minefield, but that's fine.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Whatever.
Cool.
So yeah, you guys step outside, and despite the fire now being out in the guild hall, smoke is still rising, dancing its way to the now darkening sky. There is a sullen yet very prominent silence hanging over the city, and the suspect now dealt with. You and the citizens of King's Peak now find yourselves with an abundance of time to process the day's events, the chaos, destruction wrought, injury sustained, and lives lost. All these undeniable truths, evidenced by the wreckage all around the city, solidify themselves in the minds of you and those around you. And people who, until just a moment ago, were stoic, now collapse in a sobbing heap. Some others remain busy, working themselves to the bone, trying to help people, moving rubble until their hands are raw and bloody.
Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah, so now you guys can either follow along with Kareen or try and help people or do something, whatever you guys want to do, to try and help or get info or whatever.
Should we tend to
Sup to you.
injured peeps or leave that to the professionals?
I mean, we like
There's a whole big crew of people inside the guild right now, like putting out everything and making sure everybody's out and helping the hostages out from the basement and treating the injured. A lot of people everybody from the crowd, now seeing that situation is dealt with, are dispersing to help with other places around the city. Yeah. So there are people doing a lot of things.
Art would want to go with Kareen and them to see what they're doing with this guy and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But that also doesn't necessarily require all of us. So.
Well, I was going to say, I know Oswalt would probably want to go with Kareen as well, because he, he's never seen anybody do anything like this before, and he kind of hates this guy, so he wants to make sure he's there in case he gets froggy again and tries to escape.
All right. Okay. So, Kareen, along with the few town guards that were around, because there's, not many, a lot of them are employed through the guild, bring him down to the station, as it were, into a null magic area. So he can't even cast anything anymore, but neither can any of you.
Oh, man.
I just want to say,
Shucks.
when Knack finds out that there were 3 people who died in the building, it breaks his heart.
Yeah, Art's shaken by that.
Yeah.
He thought that we'd gotten everyone out, so
Yeah.
he's not feeling super hot. But
this would be like the first time that we feel the weight of that. I think as like a bunch of newbies, this is like the first time we were like basically solely responsible, and anything like that happened, like collateral damage wise. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a pretty extreme case, especially for newbies. Like, for anybody, this would be pretty nuts.
Yeah.
But, like, you guys have barely experienced anything.
Yeah. So.
And 3 people died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we're all reeling over that a little bit.
Yeah. So Art and Oswalt go with Kareen and the guards to go interrogate this guy.
Knack goes too.
Knack goes too?
Yeah, I guess Brix might as well.
Alright, so you all follow along as you make your way down to the station. You all have a moment to actually process everything as you're just walking, and there's not a lot to deal with. Like, everything's more or less dealt with. It's just a lot of rebuilding and helping people at this point. And yeah, so the events of today finally actually sink into your minds.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, the weight of those 3 lives really hang on you. Real good, like.
Knack is holding the pendant of his god, or of his druid order in his hand.
Yeah. The life god totem.
Yeah.
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 Rue.
Art's just keeping to himself.
Alright, so this guy, the enfeeblement now worn off, but he still being extremely weak and in the null magic area. He really can't do anything. He's now shackled to a seat in this room that has a null magic effect, and has one of the guards, Kareen, and all 4 of you standing in there to interrogate this guy. And the guard starts with, "For the record, would you please state your full name?" And he responds with, "Xander Dova." Yeah, it's not a very good name, but...
That's Brix in the other room. Are we like looking behind glass, or are we just in
No, you guys are just in the room with this fucker.
So I just laugh in his face.
That was Brix, yeah.
Alright.
I didn't pick it, come on.
What, you didn't pick your own name? Weird.
Oh my goodness gracious. Upon hearing this, actually, Kareen is like, "Oh!" and goes and leaves the room again and runs off towards the guild hall.
Oh, she knew a thing.
Yeah. Or at least recognizes the name.
Yeah, she would recognize the name of a little bitch. Anyways.
I mean, it's a pretty recognizable name. Xander Dova. Yeah. Spelled with an X, by the way.
Because he's extreme.
Yeah. He is extreme. This guy's like older. Not old, but older, as in he's been around a while.
Is he human?
He's a half-elf.
Ah, okay.
And he's got markings on his face and arms. They are sort of like a birthmark sort of thing, but they look like a swirly pattern.
Okay.
Is
he a chimera?
No.
Oh.
But he's one of the custom classes. He's a flamekin.
Okay.
Yeah. So the markings on his skin are just an indication of him being that. They're just part of that genetic anomaly. Yeah. And he's jacked as fuck. He wasn't for a while because you made him weak as shit. But now that he's back to normal, he's ripped. He's still fucked up though. As shit.
Fuck.
Take all those
Fuck,
days
dude.
at the gym away from you and a
Yeah.
heartbeat motherfucker.
No. That took like 20 years. Shit. And you took it away in 20 seconds.
To be fair, only for about 20 seconds.
Less than that, actually. I took that away in 12 seconds.
That would take the wind out of you, for sure. Yeah.
Woo. Suddenly all your clothes feel really heavy and you're like,
Just get
oh god, that sucks.
So he got his strength back. Did his junk grow back, or is that still
Absolutely
missing?
I mean,
that doesn't.
no, that doesn't. No,
That's not how that shit works.
no, that's just a he would need to be like fully magically healed for that.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
And nobody's
Which
gonna do that.
no,
No.
God.
people have
Fucking-
like bandaged him so he doesn't bleed out and die. But
While Knack is asleep, or no, while Honey is sleeping, he's just like,
oh,
oh,
that's
on
a
the floor.
testicle.
I hate this.
Okay.
Thanks, I hate it.
Getting off
Well,
it. Getting
well.
off it.
All right. Well, it is discovered through this interrogation that Xander has been reprimanded in the past for his behavior, although until now he's not done anything outwardly aggressive towards the guild or its members. When Kareen gets back, many of the events that Xander brings up of being reprimanded, there is no actual official record of. So, one in particular being the complete blacklisting and nullification of his guild license 2 days ago. Again, no record of. If anybody wants to ask questions or for additional info or things, I don't know. What do you feel like doing?
I mean, were records lost in, like, the fire? Or
All
is this,
these
like,
records are kept in the basement, which is accessible
Yeah.
by the staircase behind the reception desk. So fire really didn't get anywhere near there. So
Okay.
all these records are completely up to date.
Okay.
But the basement, you say?
There's two basements.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So there's one behind the reception desk and one that's essentially just a storage room for the tavern, which happens to just be connected to the old
The big
warp
old
tunnel.
Tunnel. But this record room is not.
The record room is not. No.
Okay.
The record room is completely separate.
Okay, I want Brix to, like, climb up on the table and, like, really get in this guy's face.
And do what?
Can I do that?
I mean,
Yeah.
Okay, so she does that. She climbs up on the table and gets all up in this guy's face. I want to slap him.
your little cat paws?
Yeah, my little cat paws. I mean, it's not really going to do any damage.
And like, what are you trying to get out of this?
And I just want to fucking mean mug him and give him the, like, the finger, you know, like the, I'm, like,
Yeah.
looking at you. And then just back up. But still mean mugging him the entire time.
Nah, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay.
I've got my eyes on him.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
I guess Art would like to ask, so who was your accomplice?
Who is his accomplice, eh?
Yeah. Because we remember
Mm-hmm.
the extra person.
Yes.
No one else seems to.
Mm-hmm. Nobody who you all had in the one room altogether
Yeah. So,
seems to remember an extra person.
and this extra person who has erased themselves from people's memories seems like the kind of person who could also be expunging records that should exist.
Possibly.
This is the train
Possibly.
of thought that Art has gone down.
He says that the only accomplice he had was getting the idea of the traps and the timing of the actual attack from an acquaintance of his named Cal. And this happened on the night his license was revoked. The conversation happened at a tavern on the edge of town.
Knack questions.
Was he a guild employee?
As far as I know, no. Okay.
Okay. Knack
So,
continues.
Was he in the building?
And then Brix runs forward and slaps him and be like,
It's like, that was the 1 HP he had left. He
Dies. He falls unconscious.
he's got 3 HP left, I think.
I've had shit like that happen.
Jesus.
Legitimately, he's got 3. Yeah.
We really beat him within an inch of his life.
Oh yeah, you did. Anyway, he was in the building earlier today to help me set up the traps and get everything ready, but that's it.
So this is 2 different people then, presumably?
So
You can assume that.
Yeah.
There might have been someone on the inside that was there unbeknownst to this guy.
That doesn't seem right, though. Like, it wouldn't be, like, a collaborator if he didn't know he was there. It could have been a totally unrelated thing. I would like to, if we're done interrogating the guy, when we're done interrogating the guy, I would like to let Kareen know about the extra person.
Okay.
Because I feel like
Sure.
I don't necessarily know why it's important. And I guess Art can articulate it like this, like, I don't know why someone would run away into a trap-infested dungeon instead of waiting for help, but that doesn't feel good.
No. No, it doesn't.
And also take the time to make sure no one remembered that he was there.
Also, while you guys are interrogating him and Kareen has his profile, nothing in Xander's profile indicates a tendency to plan things so intricately, and he has no background in engineering of any sort.
So he's the muscle.
Oh, yeah.
Xander also goes on to explain that his friend Cal, he does not know extremely well, and was the one who gave him the idea for the whole timing of everything.
Yeah.
And the initial plan was for 400,000 gold, but Xander figured since he was there, why not ask for more?
Fucking it. So this guy's an idiot.
Yeah. There's clearly,
According
like-
to Xander, he was running the show after all, or so he thought.
Okay.
So there are other people who were running it, and he was just kind of like a idiot fucking
Scapegoat.
following. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We should find out if there were other records taken.
There's not really a way to do that.
Yeah.
Because they're not there.
I mean, as near as anybody can tell, these records are pretty up to date. It's just that the particular instances of him being reprimanded that he's bringing up have no record. They just weren't recorded at all.
Yeah, whether it was by clerical error or some more nefarious deed,
Well,
we don't know, but I assume nefarious.
It could also just not have happened. In the sense that I'm assuming there's some kind of illusion or mental magic that could have been done to convince him that these things happened, thus making him tilted enough to do it.
That's true. This is true.
Through further pressing and interrogation, you learn that Xander genuinely feels as though he's been wrong and seeks reparation for this. You can obviously sense some level of insecurity as though he's lost some sense of purpose and is lashing out. You also sense some measure of psychological damage as if that's at all surprising.
Yeah.
You also learn that Xander has given a significant portion of his life to guild work, and over the past couple of years, just the last couple of years, has begun feeling as though his efforts were going unappreciated, and as if the guild had been stealing from him.
What did he do to get the license taken away? Does he say?
Well, that's the thing, is that Xander says that he was not given any good reason. And this is another instance of there being no official record of it.
Yeah.
So, according to his record, he still has a guild license.
According to his record, until today, he had not done anything outwardly aggressive towards the guild.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to find Cal, whoever this person is.
I'm convinced that all the stuff that he's telling us that happened didn't ever actually happen, because I do not see, as meticulously kept the records are, that nothing would be put in there. So, I mean, like, I don't know, I just don't think that, you know, this guy seems to have, like, a fairly middle-of-the-road career. Like, he's not doing anything to stand out both positively or negatively. And then out of fucking nowhere, he goes berserk. Like, this is all, like, false memories being planted into him.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Yeah.
he's under some sort of, like, hypnosis or some shit. Like, yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, I would agree.
Did he already receive his compensation from Cal? Or did he have a rendezvous planned to meet
He
with
hasn't received any compensation from anybody. Pretty much the only thing that Cal provided was the idea for this takeover in the first place, as well as the creation and implementation of the traps. And that was earlier today, is when, like, things were starting to get set up, and then he set everything off, and then actually, like, wired the traps and everything. But since then, Cal has just disappeared.
Okay.
All right. Oswalt walks up to this dude.
Brix ready's the slap.
Yeah. And Oswald's looking fairly, like, serious. How do you get in touch with him, Cal? How do you find him? How do you get a hold of him?
Honestly, I'm not that close with the guy. Anytime we'd ever met up, it was just when we happened to be in the same place together at the same time. And, yeah.
So you have a friend who you barely know, that you run into randomly, who convinces you to commit a terrorist attack. Does any of this seem weird to you by any chance whatsoever?
It's starting to.
Okay.
Slap.
It's starting to seem very bizarre.
Okay.
Honestly,
So-
I don't feel right about any of this anymore either.
I think Cal's a mind flayer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Oswald just kind of sits there, or stands there for a second.
So, yeah, Xander now being, like, bloodied and having said, like, so many things, and, like, now is thinking through things and seeing how fucked up everything is. He's now just, like, kind of hanging his head and just sitting there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uselessly. Not even, like, trying to fight against the chains or anything.
Yeah.
Just there.
All right. I think.
Yeah, Oswald just goes, Xander, it's becoming increasingly clear that whatever this was, you were just a weapon used. So you need to do everything in your power to remember any good goddamn thing about this Cal guy.
The only thing I could say about him, as far as a descriptor, is that he's extremely plain looking. Very, very average.
Knack reaches into his cloak and holds out Honey in his face. And Honey's like,
I'm like 2 inches away from dying. You think I'm any more scared than I'm going to be?
You think I have piss left to fill my pants with? No.
slowly put Honey back into my cloak and glare at him.
Yeah.
Hey, that's my thing. I'm the glaring. I'm the bad cop.
The only thing I can
She
say is
slaps
that
Knack.
I'm reasonably sure he's a human.
Okay.
Yeah.
Reasonably sure.
Mind flayer. He's a mind flayer. Throwing that out there.
Okay. Art is going to collect Brix and say, I think we've learned all we're going to learn from this guy. I think that's it. So no more glaring.
One additional thing that he tosses in is that when everything was being set up during the attack, Cal was wearing the same type of cloak that he was. The ashy gray long cloak.
Okay.
Yep.
So
that might account for things being weird in the hostage witness accounts because they both looked the same with the hood up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was more probably than Cal that I saw that night and not this guy. If this guy, like, literally doesn't know how to do anything.
Well, not only that, but so if you remember when we started interacting with this dude, I was trying to get any kind of physical information because when you ran into that guy, he was of a relative plain build, whereas this dude seems fucking jacked.
Yes,
So
this guy is huge and ripped.
Yeah, so I was like, this feels weird.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't feel like this is the same dude.
No.
Which is why we talked about the possible cult aspect from the...
Yeah. So, hey, good news, it's a cult.
Good news, still could be a cult.
But at least one member of this cult is gone. And if there's only 2 members, then it's just a guy.
Yeah, it's just a guy. It's less of a cult and more of just a guy.
Just a real shitty guy, yeah.
Yeah, just one really devoted guy.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, Art will thank Xander for his cooperation.
Don't thank him.
He doesn't
No,
say
I will.
a goddamn thing
That's
in
fine.
response.
That's
You're still
fine.
holding Brix, right? Art's
Yes,
still holding Brix.
I'm still holding Brix.
Brix is still mean mugging at him.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I love that image.
Just like limply
Art
being
with
held,
like a
and
burnt right arm holding
Yeah.
Brix and like being like, thank you. And
Brix just like,
oh, that's amazing. All right.
Yeah, Oswald just walked out of the room.
All right. So, I'm assuming that if you were asked to stay and help rebuild and help people as much as you could, y'all would say yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Brix
So-
will supervise.
Yeah, okay, sure.
You can climb up to the high places.
And like direct people.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, supervise.
Yeah. So, you all stay behind, you all stay and help the injured, and help in whatever manner you can to rebuild what's been destroyed. After a little over a week and a half,
Jesus.
there is still much to do towards returning everything to normal, but at the very least, the postal system is functioning. Slowly, but it's functioning. The offices are still being rebuilt, but they have resumed work inside other buildings temporarily thanks to the kindness of other folks. The Guild Hall, being the last building to be touched, has little more than some boards at this point to cover the enormous hole in the side of it, with the interior seeing much more extensive repairs. As well, the train station is still largely destroyed, but the tracks are now back in full working order.
Well, I mean, I guess that's really all you need.
And thanks to your heroic efforts the day of the incident, and all of the assistance you've lent after the fact, you've gained quite a reputation in King's Peak and are very highly revered among the people.
Oh.
And now, after a little over a week and a half, the sun rises and you all awake in your rooms in the King's New Sheets, an inn nearer to the train station, and you are, of course, mentally and physically exhausted. And this marks the first day that the train is actually properly functioning again.
So I'm assuming all the damage that we've taken is...
Oh, this is like way beyond healed at this point, and you guys didn't have to spend anything for like accommodations or food because, as you might imagine, after this particular incident, everybody was just kind of all about helping each other out.
Yeah.
So nobody was charging anything for anything.
Yay!
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. And everybody was just helping each other out. At this point, the high-ranking guild officials are returning.
Right.
Unsurprisingly, very shocked about all the events that they've just been caught up on. Considering they had no way of getting information about it when they were out at the
Summit.
Yeah, and yeah, so everything's all fucked up, but less fucked up than it was before.
Less
and you
fucked up,
guys
yeah.
now learned about a mysterious, very average-looking man named Cal.
Sup, Cal?
All right, cool. So I imagine this like people are getting ready in the morning, and this little group is still eating meals together, but like in silence.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm picturing.
And I would imagine like every morning that this has happened, or since shit has happened, it's been like this, where it's just a quiet like death march of putting food in your mouth and then leaving.
More or less.
Yeah.
I imagine there was at least a couple days where people were sitting apart from each other.
Yeah.
Like, or having meals at different times and yada 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 yada.
Fair enough. I mean, if we're all doing like outreach work, it's
Yeah.
everyone's schedule's all messed up. Anyways,
Yeah.
so I picture the group sort of quietly eating their food, and Brix like hops up on the table, you know, doing her typical like Brix eating on the table horse shit. And she notices that everyone is very quiet and like withdrawn, and she's just, I don't know, not tired of it, but just like the silence makes her uncomfortable. She's just sort of like sitting on the table and not even eating her food at any point, just sort of like looking around and like trying to make some kind of eye contact, but nobody's looking up from their food. So she finally just starts pawing at glasses and like still trying to get attention. Does anyone look up?
Art's gonna just like nudge his glass back anytime she moves it. Just like, no. Like he's definitely like watching her out of the corner of his eye, but he's just like trying to just
Knack.
be done.
I would say Oswalt sees that out of the corner of his eye and kind of chortles quietly.
Fair enough.
Oh.
But like no.
Knack
Like,
looks up and he sees it happen, and he goes into his bag and pulls out a little bit of food. A little dried up food like he used to. Puts it on the table and kind of looks away. Like
aw. Brix. Brix sighs and takes the food. And like, she eats it, like, but sort of like a like indignant.
that's not the point.
Yeah, yeah, like, well, I'm gonna eat it, but she's not happy about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take your food, but fucking whatever.
I like to think that Knack thought that's what she wanted.
That's really sweet.
Aww. I like this.
And then just like a few beats of silence, I guess, and then finally she just slams her little paws down on the table and she goes,
Is this because the people died?
Sorry.
Knack's eyes widen. He kind of looks back and forth, like, are we gonna talk about this?
Art is now looking directly at Brix. And it's not a nice look.
no, I imagine not.
No. But he's now stopped what he's doing and has kind of sat back as if to say, now, okay. Okay, go.
Brix just like calmly sits down and she like straightens her little outfit.
Question.
Yes.
On the table or
On
at the
the table.
seat?
Absolutely on the table.
On the table,
Okay,
of
cool.
course, with her bare butthole on the table.
As a cat is wont to do.
Yeah.
Okay,
Is
just
want.
go on.
She's giving it butt kisses. Anyways.
Nick's face.
It's so evocative.
I just want to say, as a person who also owns cats, you know your cat's bare butthole has touched everything you own.
I know,
Yeah.
but like I kind of
Try
ignore
not to
it.
think about it,
like,
yeah.
I don't think about it. I definitely don't. I've never thought about butt kisses until this exact moment. And I
Oh.
Yeah, that word has never.
Butt
No.
kisses.
but it really
Bare butt kisses.
You've
Yeah.
never felt the gentle wink?
no.
Oh.
Oh no!
Oh my god.
Oh! Sorry. Sorry.
This tender moment went to hell.
All right, tender moment. Resume.
Yeah, so she straightens out her outfit and everything, and she says,
I just want to let you guys know that energy is not created or removed. It only ever changes shapes. And those people are still here. They're just not in their bodies.
Oswalt kind of
and then kind of stares off.
Whoa.
That resounds deeply with Knack's belief. And he just like perks up a little bit.
That was surprisingly profound, Brix.
What is profound?
Yeah, basically.
Oswalt puts his hand gently on Brix's head, kind of like he's trying to take her temperature, see if she has a fever.
Yeah.
And then kind of looks confused, goes, "Can cats get fevers? I don't... How have you... Are you okay, Brix? I feel like since the space cat, you've been... How are you? How are you, Brix?"
There's a lot going on at all times. I don't know, but I just had to say something.
Brix is right. We must not let this loss of life tear us apart when there is life all around us that we must save.
I didn't say that part, but yeah.
The sentiment was there, I think.
Damn it, Brix.
I would have
You made a nice moment and then you ruined it.
So yeah, Oswald reaches over and gives Brix another light pat on the head and says, "Thanks for checking in, buddy. I appreciate it."
Yeah, I'm doing fine. Thanks for checking in on me. Gah.
You're clearly doing fine.
Am I?
Who are you talking to?
I don't know. That's the problem.
And to be fair,
You know what? Actually, that...
Oh my god.
Her saying that could actually be a thing.
That's 100% canon.
Yeah.
Everyone at the table, like, after these weird sort of, like, existential conversations come to a close, they continue to eat in silence, but, like, I imagine it's much calmer, and it's the big dead elephant in the room has been addressed.
Yeah. I would describe as the scene basically being there's been a collective exhale.
So everyone continues to eat in silence, and as each of us finish our food, we just sort of collectively, pick up our dishes and leave. But, we each afterwards, after this moment of sort of clarity or release of this anxious energy that everyone's been carrying around, everyone in the group individually goes on to do wonderful things. After the shit went down, I guess Brix had, she tries to play it cool, like, cats do, but one morning she just woke up and, like, stared off into the distance and didn't stop staring for a whole day, and it fucking freaked her out. So she talked to her friends about it, and was okay for a little while, just hanging back, doing Brix stuff, which is literally just, like, being in the sun. Yeah. And, like, trying to, like, scam money off of people.
Yeah. Like cats do.
What?
Yeah, like cats do.
Wait, what?
Well, like
cats do.
She did that.
She was panhandling.
She was panhandling. Okay. Like she's done before. But then
she got 3 gold.
Yeah, ooh, nice. And but I imagine, sometime later she has another one of these episodes where, like, she sort of can see nothing and everything all at the same time. Mm-hmm. And but this time, I guess maybe because she was a little more aware and also, like,
ready for it
in the right headspace, I guess. She spends an entire day just drawing maps, but nothing is complete. It's like little sections of things, little bits and pieces of places that she may have been to or she may have not, and she doesn't really know, but she's just sort of compelled to do these.
In the downtime that the party has had, I think since the first time since he's met the group, he's actually withdrawn just a little bit. Not necessarily because he's upset with anybody,
but because a lot has happened.
But it's because a lot has happened, and I've mentioned this before, and not to beat a dead horse, but I mean, about a month, maybe a little over a month ago, he lived by himself in a swamp.
Yep.
And he thought he was going to go get a job where he stood outside of a building and looked tough and made like a couple of gold a week, and he was going to save up and open a shop. So he's just kind of processing everything, and he's also not comfortable with how a lot of this stuff has made him feel, because he really wanted to kill that guy in the
Oh,
that
yeah,
attack.
okay.
Like
He's uncomfortable with feeling that.
I will say that while nobody was looking, after he was apprehended, at one point he gently put his hand on the guy's shoulder and contemplated casting Carnal Touch on him. Like, he wanted to kill him, and he's not comfortable with that, considering how much killing the dwarf bothered him.
Yeah.
So he's been dealing with a lot of feelings of just being over his head in general, that maybe he shouldn't have joined the guild and he should just go back to his swamp.
Boy.
And so, and he's not, he loves his new friends, probably to an obnoxious level, and he's really happy being around everybody, but, he grew up being told that he's wrong and bad because of these things, and that he's going to be bad because he can do what he does.
Mm-hmm.
And for the first time in his life, he wanted to hurt somebody. For good reason.
I mean, yes, but he also doesn't know the difference between that. Also, because he's only really hurt one other person before.
And he didn't mean to hurt him that bad.
Yeah.
Like, the thing on the train was like, this, it may sound weird, but when he did I'm going to commit 4 murders, to him, it still felt like a game. Like, it didn't feel totally real to him. So when that guy actually died, it kind of was like, oh,
God.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
got you.
I would say, like, maybe finding out afterwards that, like, this guy probably wasn't even fully aware of what he was doing. And you would have had, you still wanted to kill him, and then found out, like, oh shit.
Yeah, he was used.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like he's withdrawn a little bit. He's spending a lot of time by himself, and not wallowing, mind you, but just kind of trying to figure things out. And what Oswalt,
figure out what he is separate from the group.
Yeah. So what Oswalt always did when he lived alone, when he went, when he didn't know what to do with himself, or when he wanted to just kind of prop himself up, is he did tailoring, because that was the whole point of all of this, is for him to buy a shop so he could be a tailor.
Yep.
So he spent a lot of time just basically he went out, like, when things calmed down a bit, and he didn't really, there was nobody that immediately needed help, and he helped with some of the rubble and all that stuff. He went out and bought some materials, and he's just been, like, quietly with Wick summoned. He's been spending a lot of time with Wick, because Wick is essentially his security blanket. Think of it this way: a lot of his time would probably be spent, the camera goes into his room and the door's open, and he's trying to get as much sun as he can, and he's got, like, a drink of coffee or something, and his coat's draped over a chair, and he's got his sleeves rolled up, and Wick's in a T-pose, and he's building a suit onto Wick, just trying to, he kind of feels like he's been part of a lot of ugliness recently, and he kind of wants to make something nice. So it's not done at this point, but he's been building a new suit, and using Wick as, like, the base for it. So yeah, it's almost been like a time of meditation for him.
Yeah.
Where he's trying to figure out how he fits into all this. And I would say the party's probably noticed that he's been weirdly quiet. Like, for the first time since you've met him, he doesn't actually want to talk too much.
Oh.
And again, like, he's not wallowing.
No, he just wants to keep to himself.
He's just confused, basically. And so, yeah, I would say at this point he's got, because I did a little bit of research on how to make a suit, he's basically got the base shell of it and shape of it made, and he's got the canvas that you put inside of a good suit to help hold it all together on. But, and I would say it's probably the nicest suit that he's ever made up to this point, but nobody else could tell because the nice fabric that you see and touch is not over the base that he's been building.
Yeah. So he's built the base, but he hasn't put any of the actual skin.
Yeah.
So to say. So Wick now has a skeletal suit.
Well, yeah, and to be honest with you, I don't think it's necessarily a suit for Wick. He just uses Wick as
it's his mannequin.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. And so it's been an opportunity for him to kind of have this, like, reflection period and spend time with, though not sentient, is literally like a animatronic security blanket for him, trying to figure out, like, do I really want to keep doing this?
Yeah.
Like, fucking some shit has gone down. And I don't know if... Because, again, he's like 23 years old.
Yeah.
Which I
And he
feel...
wanted to open up a clothing shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
It's fair enough.
And at this point, so this is where he's at with the suit. He spent a lot of time just kind of relaxing and doing all this stuff. And despite the fact that the group has kind of noticed he's been quiet, he feels like he's starting to come out of his shell again. And he's starting to feel a little more like he was when you first met him. Except less excitable, just because he's...
Oh.
Learning.
He's learning.
Yep.
He's learning to be a real boy.
Aw, yeah.
A real boy.
A real boy.
Knack's initial reaction, and I feel like this is going to be a common thing for most of us, is that he retreated inward and got really quiet.
Yep.
And separated himself from the group, although he was creepily keeping tabs on them and watching them sometimes from a distance.
Okay.
He spent a lot of that time hating himself. And he still hates that metal arm, and he sometimes thinks about just cutting it off.
Oh, jeez.
But he has held himself back in the hopes that maybe life will change.
Yeah. I also kind of feel like every time he starts getting really serious thoughts about cutting that arm off, the Force still loves you line rings in his head.
Yeah,
and it just kind of goes, maybe I'm overreacting.
Yeah, exactly. So he started updating his journal more. He started updating his studies more, watching people during times of crisis, and he then started healing people and helping people in the streets. He joined a post-disaster recovery program with the Guild.
Yay! Yep.
And so he spent a lot of the last week and a half having one-on-one interactions with the townsfolk, getting acquainted with like how people help each other, and getting charmed by just the way that everyone has like come together in the town.
Oh yeah.
So he's been like spending a lot of time like in the town, just like helping people and like feeding like the sick and.
Oh, okay, cool. And he's like learning to interact with people better.
Yeah.
And all that.
Cool. He still spends a lot of time in his evenings just like staring at that necklace and wondering what that's all about. And he hasn't communed with his god since that one time in Tremoria.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't know what to feel, and he thinks things have gotten awkward between him and the god. And like he knows that what he's doing right now with getting really, really like cozy with like the town and like the people is kind of like drifting him further away from his druid clan. And so he still has yet to even like speak to them and give them any updates.
Yeah.
And that's about it. He's just trying to help people and enjoy his time in the city, basically.
Yay. Oh, that was really nice.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Yeah.
Yay.
I will say, as like morning comes, I think Art finally does want to sit down and try to reach out to whatever new power.
Okay, yeah.
Because like he hasn't had a chance to sit down and like talk with God, even though he knows something is very different.
Okay. So, this morning, as Art, well, not wakes up, but like comes back from meditating.
Yeah.
Regains full consciousness and awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Tries to commune with his god. And finds the connection significantly less hazy than before. So this connection feels much more strong and solid. It doesn't feel like a shaky radio signal anymore. It just feels like a straight up face-to-face connection now.
Mm-hmm.
You FaceTiming with God.
I'm FaceTiming with God, man.
Greeted by a much softer voice that he can hear much more clearly.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that's very nice.
I greet him by saying, "Hello, my child.
Hello.
I am Freylor. I've been watching over you for quite a long time now."
I'm sorry I've never recognized you.
It's quite all right. You had learned the ways of another god and had been talking to them for quite a while. It's hard to break that connection, I understand.
Mm-hmm.
But I see that you've come more into yourself now. You're now more aware.
A lot has happened.
As I've seen, and I'm quite sorry. I'm sorry that you've lost your way so much, but I'm glad that you're finally on the path of self-discovery.
Thank you. It's nice to be supported. That's Nick laughing. That's not Art laughing. He's very upset.
Oh.
But he's...
And he's like, oh.
Yeah. Oh no, he's legitimately probably crying.
Oh. Oh no.
Like he's a special boy. But yeah, yeah, this already feels much more right.
Yeah.
Than most of his life up until this point.
Communing with Havaste has always been... The connection felt shaky and as if it weren't completely solid. Like, the voice was kind of echoey, like it was far away.
Yeah, I also like to think that, like, Art was still good at achieving it. Like, still
Oh, yeah,
had,
he
like...
could do it really well, and
Yeah.
he assumed that's just what the gods sounded like.
Yeah, and it was just, like, also a lot of effort.
Yes.
To do.
It is strenuous, but contacting
is not.
Freylor is, like, effortless, and the voice is very, very clear.
Yeah.
As if they're in the room with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yes. I see that you finally found the power within yourself. I'm so happy. I wanted for so long to tell you that you had this power within you. But I just couldn't reach you before.
No, it I think makes a lot of things make sense.
Yes. You have within you the power of the wind, and because of this power, you were unable to use the gifts bestowed upon you by Havaste. I so wish I could have told you before. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah?
Was Art...
Thanks!
Yeah.
Was what's this god's name?
Freylor.
Was Freylor being cockblocked by Havaste?
Essentially, yeah.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because the connection with Havaste was so shaky, Havaste could not essentially see Art well enough to be able to figure out why the hell he couldn't use his magic.
Yeah.
But
it was just a whole big mess going on.
But now Art has
Godtown.
a good connection with Freylor, who can see him clearly enough to be able to, like, fucking, you're this!
Yeah.
You can do this!
Yeah.
Jesus, man!
But yeah, there's still, like... There's still a lot to unpack with this, I think, for Art.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot has happened,
Mhm.
not just in the campaign, but before the campaign. That I know.
Oh my goodness.
He has a lot of feelings
Mhm.
right now.
Mhm.
Some good, mostly good. But also like a very deep and profound regret.
Yeah.
So yeah, it seems like there's a lot to learn.
Okay. And before your connection with Freylor breaks away, they tell you to go wherever the wind tells you to go, and you will find yourself.
Yes.
And
Tells you that they will always be watching over you.
My boy. Finally has some...
And
some fucking good support.
Yeah. That's a fucking dick.
Watch your rolls get good now.
Oh,
they better.
That would be so great.
Yeah.
That'd be dope. And it's cool, too, because Freylor can't actually do anything. They can't give you any magic powers or anything.
Yeah.
But they can support you morally.
Yeah, seriously.
Lavaste was just an ass.
Yeah. I mean...
Making plans and shit, fuck.
I don't think Havaste started as an ass. I think
no, he just got real frustrated.
Got real frustrated with art at a certain point.
Just like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
Ah! Why aren't you doing the things that I tell you to do? Shit!
Skydad, don't be mad at me.
It's alright, you have a new Sky Parent.
I have a new Sky Parent now.
Yay.
Okay.
Yay!
Yeah. So Art's feeling a little bit more at ease.
Mm-hmm.
The whole using magic thing is still very foreign to him.
Yeah.
He's still not quite sure how all that works.
Oh.
But he's going to do his best.
Yay!
And he's happy with his new Sky Parent.
Aw.
Yay!
Aw. Yay. Yay, Freylor.
Yay.
You did it.
Hey everyone, thank you for listening to another episode of the Killustrators. We hope you enjoyed it. We're coming to the end of another arc. As usual, thank you to Kevin McLeod of Incompetech.com for all the good music. This episode will be going up on YouTube on Friday, and we'll have a brand new episode for you in 2 weeks. Check us out at Killustrators on Twitter if you want to follow us for social media shenanigans. And grab the Discord link in the description if you want a cool place to hang out. Lots of really good people over there that are fun to chat with. Speaking of Discord, every episode we have a listening party for where the cast chats and kind of provides commentary for the episode, and everybody can hang out and listen, and then they have access to a text chat. And we also play bingo. And if you win bingo, you get to make a request for me to say something. And last episode, our winner was Jude. And Jude's request was for me to dote on resident cat player and my significant other, Rosemary. And just talk about how great she is, which let me tell you is really easy because, man, she's great. You guys get to see how funny she is with the stuff that she does with Brix, but she's just a joy to be around, and she's endlessly creative and funny and driven, and I'm a lucky dude, and I love her very much. I was also requested to give a shout out to Richard on the Discord for being a good dude. And speaking of good folks, I'm going to just keep passing this love around and say that Jude is an A-plus person who is a perfect example of why the Discord is great and proof that we get good people on there. Jude could have asked me to say anything, and instead they asked me to just spread some love around. That's A-plus stuff. If you dig the show, give us a review on iTunes. It helps us out a lot, and share us with your friends. And yeah, we hope you're enjoying the arc so far. Like I said, we're coming near the end of it, and yeah, this one was a tense one, but it seems to have worked out, ? I feel like it's worked out. I definitely feel like our characters have finally gotten a chance to kind of process all the stuff that's happened to them, which you're kind of getting a taste of now, which was fun to role play. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Okay, bye-bye.